If you're feeling overweight and overwhelmed with the possibility of getting in better shape, because let's just face it, you're a man who has put his career, his family, and pretty much everyone else's needs in front of his own for a long period of time now. And the result speaks for itself. When you wake up in the morning, you have a lot of pain. You don't like what you see in the mirror. You feel overweight. You need to drop weight, but you just have so much going on that you haven't prioritized it. So in today's video, I am going to break down the entire system that I have used and I've personally coached thousands of guys through since 2004 as both a in-person trainer and running a large-scale online transformation company. This exact system is responsible for over 8,200 transformations through coaching, courses, programs, and challenges. And on today's video, I'm going to lay out the entire plan. No gatekeeping, no secrets, everything you need to radically transform your body, both inside and out. What I want to be clear is that your gut, your body, your metabolism, they're not the real problem. It's the system or lack thereof inside of your lifestyle for taking care of yourself when you have a lot of things on your plate. Look, as a man who prioritizes his family, I'm the same way. I also put my faith and my finances, my business, my employees as top of the priority list. So my health, my physique, my fitness sometimes in the past gets put on the back burner, but it doesn't have to be that way. What I can promise you is that if you've done the hard stuff in your life, meaning you've raised kids or you're raising kids, you've gotten married, you work on your marriage, and you've built a career, those things, when you really break it all down, are way harder than getting in shape. Now, you may not believe me because it's felt impossible for a long period of time now, but I can promise you after watching today's video, you're going to have ultra clarity on exactly what needs to happen and, most importantly, how to get there. I put together a full-blown fitness mastery system. It's for the time-poor professional who wants to look good with his shirt off. It's a roadmap that's going to cover a lot of what we'll cover in today's video, but it's free. And all you have to do is comment the word fat loss, words fat loss below this video. And I'm going to send you the guide that's going to not only build your physique, help you get stronger, help you feel injury-free for a long period of time, help you drop fat, but also help you feel 20 years younger as you go into the back half of your life. If you want the guide for free, comment fat loss below and I'll make sure you get it. This whole system started about 20 years ago when I was in my early 20s and I was struggling to balance everything. Now, funny enough, I had way more time on my hands back then, which was kind of a blessing and a curse. I put a lot of time into building my professional career, chasing things I probably shouldn't have been chasing, spending a lot of time in places I shouldn't have been spending time, and developing a lot of bad habits. Now, one of the biggest things I ran into in my early 20s was depression. Now, for me, depression came about because I realized, man, no one's coming to save me. I got to really take control of my life, but I felt like everything was out of control. I wasn't able to get a footing with my professional career. I was eating to relieve stress. I was drinking. I was partying. I was doing things to fill a void that honestly could only be filled by two main things, and that was my faith, which was lacking at the time, and my health and fitness, which also was lacking. Despite having a big time passion for fitness, I just wasn't taking care of myself. And so I began to explore fitness as a lifestyle. Like, what does it actually require to not only get in shape, but stay in shape? Because at the time, I was 65 pounds overweight, despite being a personal trainer, training clients in the gym, and then over time moving to doing that part-time while chasing a full-time business in the finance world at the time. I didn't have a lot of time to spend outside of just work, eat, party, and then try to work out. I was terrible at managing my nutrition. I was terrible at managing my movement because I was very sedentary at the time, but I was most importantly terrible at managing my mental health. And so that led to me hiring my first ever coach. Now, I didn't do this on purpose. I had no idea what coaching even was back then outside of athletic coaching, which I had been a baseball player for my entire life. I even played baseball in college. So coaching or wanting coaching came naturally to me, but I didn't know that there was this whole online fitness coaching thing. But I ran into a guy named Greg Plitt. And Greg Plitt at the time was the #1 fitness model in the world, and he had a coaching program, which I was fortunate enough to be able to jump into way back then. Greg has since passed away, unfortunately, in a tragic accident, actually filming a fitness commercial of all things. But That was my first experience with getting no BS tough love. Now, the funny thing is, Greg's system for working out was probably not the best, right? He encouraged like training every day, sometimes twice a day, going low carb, doing all the things that were very unsustainable. But the one thing that he did get right was the mental game. He talked mostly about mindset, mostly about winning your day by getting your mind right, and why fitness was mostly a mental thing. It was mostly a mental exercise. And so one thing I always tell guys from the jump is like, you're going to get abs if you follow my system. But what's ultimately going to be the best thing you get out of taking care of yourself is better mental strength, better mental clarity, more patience, more empathy, more gratitude. That's really what we're after at the end of the day. You know, yes, the abs are cool, but it's kind of like getting a new car. It's like, it's awesome for the first 3 months, I guess. And then eventually it's like just a car that you got to take care of, that you got to do repairs on, that you got to make sure is safe and protected, and all the stuff that comes with being a car owner. It's the same with abs. It feels really awesome, and I highly suggest you do it. But ultimately, what's going to keep you in the game of fitness is the mental benefits. So let's talk about the 4-phase blueprint to transformation. Like, what does it actually take to transform your body and build something that you can sustain forever? Let's talk about phase 1. And this is the first thing that I always teach guys because it's honestly the easiest thing, and that is movement. Movement is life. I mean, if you're not moving enough, if you're too sedentary, if you're sitting too much, just because that's what we do as human beings these days, we sit in front of computers, we sit on our cell phone, we sit while our kids run around and practice. We tell our kids to go play, and then we jump on our phones and our iPads, right? It's a very sedentary type of lifestyle that most of us lead, but we can flip the switch on that by simply putting a focus on it. Are we moving enough? And ultimately, movement is very simple. You don't need to do anything crazy. You don't need to start running every day or going to the gym and doing 45 minutes of fasted cardio every morning. You don't even need to do anything like super fancy. You just need to get up and start walking more. You need to find things in your day that you can do while you walk. So for example, if you're watching this video, you could absolutely go for a walk while you're watching this video. By the way, if you want to learn more about how we build true transformation, we turn guys into the total package, and we absolutely improve every part of their life using the power of health and fitness, you can check out our systems below. You can actually find all the information in the description of this video and the first comment of this video if you want to explore the different ways that we can help you make this a reality. But a simple daily practice of hitting a step goal. Sometimes our guys hit 8,000 steps a day. Sometimes we have guys doing 15 to 20,000 steps a day, depending on their goals, depending on their time, depending on what fits into their lifestyle. You know, I have guys I work with who are top coaches in different professional sports, and they're on their feet a lot. So this could be really easy for a lot of guys. Sometimes I work with guys who run big finance companies and they're at the desk a lot. So we have to be really a little more proactive with our step count. Ways to make steps even more effective. For example, some of my guys wear a weight vest when they walk around their neighborhood in the morning. You know, they kind of put out the alpha dad energy, but it's really, really good to burn more calories and to increase the intensity of your steps without having to go run or find a cardio machine that allows for more intensity. Just buy a weight vest, wear it while you walk, and all of a sudden you're burning more calories doing the walking that you normally be doing. Now, phase 2 is where a lot of guys put most of their thought and effort, and that is the gym, but we call it muscle inside of our program. Muscle is where we go to the gym and we are actually trying to get stronger. Most guys shy away from strength because they don't want to get hurt, or heck, they might already be hurting. Some guys are already dealing with back pain, knee pain, shoulder pain. So how do we work around that? How do we build a muscle plan that actually works for you and supports the goals that you have without making you more at risk for injury or even putting you in a place where you hurt even more than you already do? There's a lot of ways to build a muscle plan. The first thing to understand is you don't need to train every day. And as we get older in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, it may not make sense to train every day. We probably don't have time unless it's something that you have on your calendar that's non-negotiable and you just like going to the gym, period. Heck, you might only need to train 2 or 3 days a week if you have a very structured and well put together program, like the ones we put together inside of our coaching system. Now, if you want to get a taste for how we build programs, that's where that free 3M system guide comes in. If you comment the words fat loss below this video, I'll send it over to you. But the thing about it is, as we get older, recovery is still a big time need. Most guys don't have a recovery system. They go through periods where they're training every day and they're really pushing themselves, or they'll jump into something like CrossFit and they hurt themselves and then they're out of the game for a while. What I would consider to be the best solution to muscle is a consistent program done over time that you can stick with for a long period of time. Now, we might change from 3 days a week to 4 days a week for periods of time. We might go from 5 days a week down to 3 days a week for periods of time. Decide to do has to be something we can look at and go, I can wake up and I can do this routine week over week for a good chunk of time. Usually at least 12 to 16 week blocks where you're very consistent with your training program. But at the end of the day, there's ways to get it done no matter where you are. We even have guys who only train with body weight. We have guys who are in hotel gyms all the time because they travel, and we have systems that will allow them to build muscle no matter where they are. The big thing to remember here, though, is the gym, yes, it is about muscle, but it's really about this. It's the mindset muscle that you're strengthening by doing what you said you were going to do. Feeling great when you walk out of the gym, knowing you stuck to your commitment for the day. Phase 3 is meals. This is where most progress and also most struggle typically happens. A lot of guys struggle with nutrition because, let's just face it, we use food as a stress relief. We drink too much. It's a social experience. Our kids want to eat stuff that's going to cause us to gain weight because it's too many calories. And we also struggle to understand, like, what is the best diet? In our program, there's a couple rules. Number one, you got to enjoy your nutrition. If you don't have any enjoyment around food, then you're most likely not going to stick with the game plan. Most people don't have a massive amount of willpower because of all the other things that we have going on. So their stress levels creep up, which means our willpower comes down. And next thing you know, we're craving all sorts of junk and we're falling off track. So we got to enjoy the meals that we eat because the meals that we eat should be built to get to your goals. The way we do that is we manage calories, number one. We manage protein. We don't need an enormous amount of protein, but enough to support our muscle recovery and our muscle growth goals. The big thing with nutrition is to understand how much calories you actually need to eat to support whatever goal you have, whether it's losing weight, maintaining weight, or gaining weight. Calories are going to be the number one driver of success no matter what the target is. My suggestion for most guys is get lean first before you start adding a bunch of size or a bunch of muscle or a bunch of strength. The reason for that is typically you're going to see better results when you're in a leaner state, and you're going to feel better about yourself when you can actually see muscle definition versus trying to add muscle and size and you're already too high in body fat. We want to focus on fat loss first, which is what we do inside of our program, which you can check out in the description below. But ultimately, when you get calories right and you get protein right, the rest of the stuff kind of falls into place. Carbs and fats can be manipulated depending on what your preference is, depending on how your body responds. We do blood work with our clients too to see how their bodies look in terms of the internal health, which can dictate what we do with carbs and fats as well. But ultimately, we're after simplicity here. We don't need to go crazy with keto. We don't need to go crazy with the sugar diet. We don't need to do anything absolutely out of the box and extreme because that stuff doesn't work for very long. Typically, what my clients find to be the most valuable routine is 2 to 3 consistent meals per day with a snack, some kind of protein bar or protein shake, and following meals that they can eat on a regular basis that are easy to put together, they're efficient, and they actually enjoy them. Now, I know I'm not giving you specifics on exactly how many calories to eat, exactly how much protein to eat. I'm actually doing that though for you in the guide that I put together for free. If you comment fat loss below, I'll send that to you. And that breaks down numbers in a little more detailed fashion so you can start to actually put together a meal system that'll work starting right now. Phase 4 and the fourth part of this system, momentum and mission. This is really where people don't pay any attention at all. It's kind of the spiritual mental side where we have to look in the mirror, and I don't mean look in the mirror and look at your gut and be, shamed or whatever. I mean, like, who do you want to be? Like, what kind of man do you want to be? Some guys don't really care about their health. They might be lying, or they may just have so much effort going into other parts of their life that they're actually not worried about their health whatsoever. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. What I'm saying is, from my perspective, it makes sense to take care of your body for a number of reasons. Let's just start with the fact that you're setting yourself up for more energy while you're here. We can't control everything in life. We can't predict when our life is going to be up, but we can take advantage of the time that we have. That's where the phrase that I coined, "life moves fast, make it count," came from. Life does move fast. We are literally on a speeding train flying through our life. And as we get older, it seems like time speeds up. Spot here where our body is the vehicle that we're experiencing life in. And so we need to take care of it, just like we would our home, our car, or anything that we value. It's also about leadership. A lot of the guys we work with inside of my program, both in my elite program, my lifestyle program, these are guys who want to be looked at as leaders. They want to be looked at as people who are stepping up and are good examples for the people around them, especially their children. I know when I look at my 2 boys that I'm leading them to the future, right? The better life that they're after, or the life that they want to create. And I want health to be a part of that. I don't want my kids to be suffering unnecessarily. There is a way to enjoy the heck out of life, enjoy food, enjoy social events, enjoy it all, and still maintain really rock solid health. It just comes down to the system that I just talked you through. Now, a lot of guys want to talk about hormones, so I am going to address hormone mastery here for a minute. The thing about hormones is that as we get older, our testosterone, which is a huge driving force behind muscle, fat loss, and also mental strength, our testosterone starts to decline. Now, some of that is healthy, right? We don't have the same testosterone we had when we were 10 to 14 years old because we don't need that level of testosterone. Today's food quality and a whole host of other factors like not getting enough sunlight, not being very active, not putting a priority around health, we've seen testosterone levels start to decline a lot faster. Now, there's a problem here because that can lead to faster fat gain. That can lead to low libido. That can lead to a lot of just poor mental health factors that influence your health and fitness in a very negative way. So the answer here is not to just jump on testosterone and start taking anabolic steroids. The answer here is to get clear on where you stand from a data perspective. What is your total testosterone? What is your free testosterone? Do you know those numbers? What does your vitamin D3 levels look like? What does your general health look like? Now, one thing I put together just as a side note is a TRT and peptide mastery guide. They're not free, but you can check out the links below if you're interested in those guides, because a lot of guys want to experience just the information that comes with understanding how their hormones should work, what options are available to them. So a lot of our clients, at the very least, just get educated on this stuff, okay? Because it's important to know what are the options available to maximize your internal hormonal health. All of this information is great, but does it actually work? Well, I'm reminded of a few clients of mine, number one being this guy, Ken Albano, who's a guy in his 50s. He's a father, he's married, he travels a ton. And by the way, this guy is a big time foodie and he works extremely hard in his career. He wasn't putting all of the ducks in a row, meaning he wasn't putting all the puzzle pieces together in the right format to get it right. He was just kind of playing around with fitness. It wasn't serious. And so once he joined our program, not only was he able to go into absolutely elite level results, but now he actually feels even more balanced because he knows the effort he's putting in on his health and fitness is the right effort. He's focusing on the right things and his results speak for themselves. Then I think of my client, David, who's also in the insurance and finance world. He's in the banking. And then I think of my client, David, who's also a financial advisor. And for a long time, he was just struggling to really master his habits. He was drinking too much alcohol. He was eating too much food, and he was trying to find fulfillment in areas that just weren't fulfilling. Once we were able to actually line up how to put together a fitness plan that actually made sense, that actually gave him results, that didn't feel terrible all the time, then all of a sudden his life changed. And you can see here his results are absolutely incredible. These guys were you not that long ago, struggling to understand how to put it all together, what works, what doesn't. And I think the real answer here is what we call the 3 C's. Number 1 is coaching. Number 2 is community. And then number 3 is challenges, because challenges are a blessing when you have the right challenges. Challenges get you out of your comfort zone. Coaching is your cheat sheet, right? It's taking someone's experience who's done it before, maybe thousands of times, and saying, I don't want to do any guesswork. I just want to be told exactly what to do and I want to go execute. Now, why we involve community as well is because when we do things on our own, we start to feel isolated. And we start to feel frustrated because we go, man, why am I not getting results at the speed that I thought I was going to get results? Or what happens when I fall off track? Like, who's there to pick me up? Who's there to help me get through some darker times? Well, that's where community is such a valuable asset, because look, you can see all these people around you who are similar to you that are getting great results, that are doing the work, that are showing up when they need to show up. And ultimately that improves your motivation, that it gets your mind in the right place. And then of course, the support that comes from that leads you to get back on the horse faster when you fall off. Now, I just want to end this. Now, as we wrap up here, I just want to share a couple quick thoughts with you. And that is, number 1, you were put on this earth to do a lot of great things. Whether you believe that or not, I believe that. I believe you were put here to do really amazing stuff. And that might just be being a great dad, which is, by the way, an incredible thing. I mean, I can't tell you how important it is being someone who doesn't have a great relationship with his father and seeing people who do. I can just tell you how impactful that role is. That is the number 1 job you have if you have children. Now, if you don't have children yet and you're a guy who's, just out there trying to make the most of his life, and you're like, hey, I am pursuing greatness, but it's in other areas. What I can tell you is you're impacting people. You're a leader. You're someone who people can rely on. That's also an incredible opportunity. But we're going to miss the mark if we're not taking care of our bodies. You might do some pretty cool things. You might have some really great accomplishments. But at the end of the day, you are leaving so much on the table if you are not taking care of your health. Your body can be the best asset you have or one of the biggest things that holds you back from reaching your goals. Your life's purpose is to be the best version of yourself and then give that version to the rest of the world. This is about modeling strength for your children, being a protector for your spouse, and most importantly, stepping into the version of you that is capable of so much more than you ever thought possible. Now, the best place to start is to get our free guide. It's the 3M Mastery System. If you want it, comment the words fat loss below this video and I'll send you the link to get the guide and actually a whole heck of a lot more. Now, if you want this whole system done for you and you want to join a team that is winning on all fronts and you want to take your life to the next level, you want a true transformation that doesn't just stop after 90 days, but continues on for the rest of your life, check out our total package transformation system. The link is below. All you need to do is fill out a few questions, book a quick time to chat, and we'll take care of the rest. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Did this video help you? Did it help piece the puzzle together so that you understand, at least from a overview standpoint, how to actually make this whole fitness thing work? What are the pieces that are required? What makes sense? Now, obviously, we could do a much deeper dive into this, and I do in this video here that you can start to check out next. I'll see you on that video. Life moves fast. Make it count. Talk to you soon. Peace.